Hello, BBN. Big rumors and big news for BBN. Mark Pope is working hard on recruitment. Are you keeping up? Before the news, subscribe to the channel to get more updates. Mark Pope continues to demonstrate his exceptional skill on the Kentucky Wildcats recruitment trail, now setting his sights on one of the most intriguing prospects of the 2026 class, Ienna Aly. This new venture comes right after Pope secured his first five-star recruit as the head coach of the program. Aly, currently ranked among the top 10 overall prospects of his class and occupying the first place among combo guards, is already drawing attention from several elite universities, including Kansas, Villanova, and UCLA. Even without an official offer from the Wildcats so far, Mark Pope's presence at a recent Aly training session at Dream City Christian in Arizona reinforces the program's genuine interest in having the young talent. Pope, known for his keen eye in identifying potential rising stars, understands that attracting players like Aly is no easy task. With an impressive list of offers that includes heavyweight programs, the competition promises to be fierce. Aly is still early in his recruitment process, but has already made visits to schools like Washington, suggesting that his decision will be carefully considered. However, the fact that Kentucky has been on the radar of this promising combo guard since the beginning of 2023 shows that Pope and his coaching staff are willing to do what it takes to win over the young player. Aly's skill on the court is evident. He is a player with excellent offensive ability, combined with a refined game vision for his age. Dream City Christian has been a talent hub, and Aly himself is the latest proof that Arizona has become a true stronghold for major college basketball programs. Aly's versatility as a guard who can operate both in setting up plays and in the attack is the kind of skill that Pope seeks to strengthen Kentucky's roster in the coming years. Pope's commitment to securing the Wildcats' future was evidenced not only in his visit to Aly, but also in his meetings with other high-level prospects in Arizona. The coach stopped by Compass Prep, where he observed two other talents from the 2026 class, Mika Murinen and Jacob Lanier. These visits reinforced Pope's aggressive strategy in expanding Kentucky's reach in the national recruitment scene. Combined with his first major success in recruiting a five-star star, the ongoing work of the coach suggests that the Wildcats are in good hands for the future. While Aly is far from making a definitive decision, Kentucky's attention in his process should not be underestimated. Pope's track record in developing players and his reputation for forming competitive teams at the highest level of college basketball make the Wildcats an attractive option. The modern style of play and offensive flexibility that Pope has implemented since taking over the program are factors that might weigh in Aly's decision, especially considering his profile as a multifaceted player. It's important to note that recruitment is just the beginning of a process that involves development, and Pope has shown an unquestionable talent in transforming prospects into stars at Kentucky. If he manages to bring Aly to Lexington, it will be another crucial step in his mission to keep the Wildcats at the top of college basketball. The pursuit of elite recruits like Aly is not just a reflection of Pope's desire to win in the present, but a clear indication of his long-term vision for the program. Kentucky's future looks promising under the leadership of Mark Pope. With a focus on emerging talents like Ienna Aly, the Wildcats are positioned to continue competing among the giants of college basketball. The combination of tradition, ambition, and a strategic approach to recruitment by Pope makes Kentucky remain an attractive destination for the country's top players. Aly's name may not yet be officially associated with the Wildcats, but with Pope's continued dedication, it wouldn't be surprising to see him wearing Kentucky blue in the near future. Discussing Chris Sak. Under the leadership of Mark Pope, the program seems to be consolidating itself as a prestigious destination for top basketball prospects, a status that began to take shape during the era of John Calipari and continues to thrive even after his departure. The pursuit of Sak, ranked as one of the top 5 players in the class of 2025, represents a crucial step for the future of Kentucky, especially when considering what Pope has already achieved in a short time. Since taking the helm, Pope has shown great skill in attracting top talents. The addition of recruits like Malachi Moreno, ranked as the 3rd best center in the class of 2025, and Jasper Johnson, the 2nd best shooting forward, demonstrates that Kentucky has not lost its luster in the college basketball scene. These commitments, especially from Moreno, have played a key role in the attempt to bring Chris Sak to Lexington. According to sources, Sak is excited about the possibility of playing alongside Moreno, seeing this combination as an advantage in terms of style complementarity, not a positional overlap. Sak is a dominant presence on the court. His desire to play as a power forward, away from Moreno, who is more focused on the center position, makes strategic sense for the Wildcats. This creates a combination of height, versatility, and physical presence that can be devastating both on offense and defense. If Kentucky can bring Sak on board, it would consolidate a front line that could intimidate any opponent, with players capable of dominating both the perimeter and the paint. Such a combination would be particularly effective in college basketball, where pairs of great players are rare and often decisive in important games. Kentucky's presence among the main competitors for Sak should not be underestimated. Although LSU is currently seen as the favorite, Mark Pope's work to keep Kentucky in contention has been noteworthy. The coach has already demonstrated his ability to attract high-level talents, and the inclusion of Sak would be another significant triumph in a short, yet already impressive, trajectory with the Wildcats. Based on recent reports, Kentucky is not only in the race, but is considered a real possibility for the young New Orleans native. The fact that Sak has expressed specific interest in Kentucky, partly due to Moreno's commitment, suggests that Pope's efforts are paying off. If Sak decides on Kentucky, he would join a young and talented core that is being formed under Pope's direction. This core includes highly ranked players like Moreno and Johnson, which would create a team with immediate potential to compete at a high level, both in the conference and nationally. Sak is known for his defensive prowess and impact around the rim, areas that would certainly complement Moreno's style of play. This synergy could give Kentucky a competitive edge rarely seen in programs that are in a rebuilding phase. Let's wait and see if this guy comes to the Cats. Discussing more recruits. Under the leadership of Mark Pope, the program is proving to be a prestigious destination for top basketball prospects, a status that began to take shape during John Calipari's era and continues to flourish even after his departure. The pursuit of Baba Olaton, ranked number 1 in the class of 2027 by ESPN, shows that Mark Pope maintains an aggressive and strategic approach in the hunt for elite talent for the future. Although Olaton is still a few years away from stepping onto a college campus, Kentucky's early interest demonstrates Pope's long-term vision, which seeks to ensure that the Wildcats' basketball success legacy remains strong for upcoming generations. Olaton, a power forward currently playing at James Hubert Blake High School in Maryland, has already attracted attention from top college basketball programs. In addition to Kentucky, he has received offers from schools like Texas, UCLA, Tennessee, and Michigan, proving the impact he is already making at the grassroots level. Seeing the blue bloods of college basketball competing for his signature 3 years before his arrival at the collegiate level is not surprising, considering his ranking and the expectations surrounding his development. For Kentucky, this offer is a clear indication that Pope is building a solid foundation for the future. By focusing on such young recruits, he ensures that the Wildcats will be at the forefront of competing for the country's best players in the coming years. Pope's recruitment philosophy has proven effective, and his strategy of building relationships with top talents early in their careers is something he is implementing exemplarily. This approach not only strengthens Kentucky's reputation, but also ensures that the program continues to attract high-level players to sustain its long-term success. Babo Olaton, though still in the developmental phases physically and technically, is already widely recognized for his potential. He possesses a combination of agility, size, and skills that are rare for his age, making him a highly valued prospect for programs like Kentucky. The rankings, although varying among recruiting platforms, with ESPN placing him at number 1 and on 3 as the 6th in the class, indicate that he is on the radar of major schools and experts. The lack of an official evaluation by Rivals and 247 Sports so far does not diminish the impact he is already making. It's important to note that recruits like Olaton often undergo significant evolution before they reach college, and Kentucky, with its rich tradition of developing players, appears to be the perfect environment to maximize that potential. Under the tutelage of Mark Pope, who has already proven to be a skilled coach both in identifying talent and in its development, Olaton could flourish and become one of the pillars of the team when he finally reaches the collegiate level. Furthermore, Pope's ability to attract and secure commitments from prominent recruits reinforces Kentucky's position as one of the top destinations in college basketball. With Olaton being the first player in the class of 2027 to receive a scholarship offer from the Wildcats, it's clear that the program is thinking far ahead, staying ahead of the competition and building the foundation for the future. Kentucky, with its rich history of sending players to the NBA, continues to be one of the most attractive options for young talents seeking both collegiate and professional success. Pope's relationship with recruits and his strategic approach to the team's future cannot be underestimated. He has already begun building these bridges with Olaton and other young talents, ensuring that, when the time comes, Kentucky will be in a position to welcome the country's best prospects. And by identifying and offering scholarships to players like Olaton so early, Pope is demonstrating that Kentucky is not just competing with other programs, but leading the race for the future of college basketball. Even with fierce competition from other elite programs, Pope's work places Kentucky in a privileged position to secure players like Olaton, and the future of the program looks brighter than ever. DeMarcus Cousins' revelation about his decision to leave Kentucky after just 1 year and the influence that name, image, and likeness nil agreements could have had on his choice reflects the evolution of college basketball in recent years. For a player of Cousins' caliber, who made an immediate impact at both the college and NBA levels, the opportunities provided by nil could have drastically altered his trajectory in Lexington. During his sole season at Kentucky, Cousins quickly emerged as one of the dominant forces in college basketball. His performance was so compelling that he soon became a top contender for the 2010 NBA draft, where he was selected as the 5th overall pick. However, as he mentioned in his interview with Hoops Hype, had the opportunity to profit from nil existed at the time, he would have considered staying with the Wildcats for 4 years, capitalizing on both financial opportunities and the chance to further develop his game under John Calipari's guidance. Cousins' claim that he brought Kentucky back from the shadows is not an overstatement. When he arrived in Lexington with other players like John Wall and Eric Bledsoe, the Wildcats explosively returned to the national spotlight, restoring the program to its former glory. Cousins was a crucial part of this revival, not just through his impressive on-court statistics, but also through the cultural impact he and his teammates brought to the program. The financial aspect Cousins raised concerning nil is particularly relevant in the current context. He stated that he could have easily earned $5 million during his college years, which, according to him, would have surpassed even his rookie NBA contract of 4 years and $15.8 million. For a player of his stature, nil would have provided a unique opportunity to capitalize on his popularity at the collegiate level while remaining in an environment that would prepare him further for professional success. Additionally, Cousins highlighted the importance of the direct advice he received from John Calipari when making his decision to enter the NBA. Calipari, known for supporting his players' development both on and off the court, was frank in advising Cousins to consider his family and financial future in making his decision. This realistic, athlete-centered approach is what sets Calipari apart from many coaches and is one of the reasons he remains so respected by players who have come through his program. With the implementation of NIL in 2021, the dynamics of college basketball have changed drastically. Athletes now have the opportunity to earn significant profits while still in college, which could influence many players to extend their college careers rather than quickly moving to the NBA draft. As Cousins pointed out, had this structure been in place during his time, he likely would have stayed at Kentucky for all 4 years, taking advantage of marketing and sponsorship opportunities that NIL offers, in addition to continuing to develop as a player. The comparison between Cousins' contract and the contract of the 2024 pick, Zachary Rizicher, who signed for 4 years and $57 million, also clearly illustrates how NBA contracts have evolved over time. This underscores the current significance of NIL in the context of college basketball, as it offers players a chance to secure substantial earnings even before entering the NBA. Programs like Kentucky, which have always been at the forefront of recruiting five-star talents, now have another powerful tool to attract and retain the country's top players. NIL allows programs like the Wildcats to offer not just an elite athletic platform, but also an immediate profit opportunity. As Cousins noted, many of his teammates, such as John Wall and Eric Bledsoe, might have had a similar outlook and possibly stayed longer in the program if NIL had been in effect. The evolution of college basketball with NIL ushers in a new era, where programs like Kentucky, with a passionate fan base and significant national visibility, can leverage these factors to ensure top talent stay in school longer. Had NIL existed during DeMarcus Cousins' era, it is intriguing to consider how the story might have been different, both for him and for the Kentucky Wildcats. This new structure also raises the question of how college basketball will continue to evolve in the coming years. What do you think of NIL? Is it beneficial? Coach Mark Stoops of the Kentucky Wildcats exhibited an optimistic and determined stance while discussing the team's immediate future following a tough loss to South Carolina. With the challenge of facing the country's #1 team, the Georgia Bulldogs, looming, Stoops understands that the team's response will be crucial not only for restoring player confidence, but also for re-engaging a fan base disheartened by recent performances. The defeat at Kroger Field was a harsh blow to the team and its supporters, but Stoops remains confident in the Wildcats' resilience to bounce back. At a Monday press conference, he shared that a candid discussion with some of the team leaders, especially center Eli Cox, injected new vigor and clarity into the path forward. Cox, one of the team's most respected captains, echoed the surprise over the loss, but also emphasized the group's capability to respond. Stoops was straightforward in stating that the recovery starts now. He stressed the importance of listening to the team leaders and understanding their perspectives, asking Cox if there was anything he, as a coach, was missing. According to Stoops, both he and Cox share the vision that the team possesses the strength and pride necessary to correct their course and return to competitive football. This message is crucial not only for the players but also for the Big Blue Nation, BBN, Kentucky's fervent fan base, which anticipates a compelling response in the coming weeks. However, the path ahead for the Wildcats is daunting. With consecutive matchups against top 5 teams, the challenge of facing the Georgia Bulldogs is immense. Georgia, consistently a powerhouse in college football, maintains a level of play that is overwhelmingly dominant, and few believe Kentucky can emerge victorious in this matchup. Nevertheless, Stoops knows that more important than the outcome is the attitude and tenacity with which the team competes on the field. For many, the game against Georgia will be a test of how the team handles adversity. While a victory may seem out of reach, A strong and competitive performance could suffice to reignite the fans' faith in the program. A closely contested game into the second half, for instance, would clearly signal that the team is on the right track to regaining its form and competitiveness. The role of leaders like Eli Cox will be pivotal in this process. Cox, with his captain's demeanor and experience, bears the responsibility of keeping the group united and focused, especially during times of crisis. Stoops made it clear that he has full confidence in Cox's ability to motivate the group and engineer a strong response to adversity. The coach also expressed that the team, despite the shock of the last loss, has not lost faith in itself, and this confidence will be tested against one of the best teams in the country. The BBN, known for its passion and unwavering support for the program, needs evidence that the Wildcats still possess the capability to compete at a high level. Although the loss to South Carolina was a severe setback, the true test of resilience will come in the upcoming weeks as they face even greater challenges. Stoops, Eli Cox, and the entire team now have the mission to prove that the resilience and pride spoken of by the coach can translate into performance on the field. Ultimately, what BBN and Stoops himself hope to see is a team that, regardless of the outcome, plays with grit, determination, and the ability to rise after a setback. If Kentucky can demonstrate this kind of response, even against a formidable opponent like Georgia, it will be indicative that the program is moving in the right direction, ready to face any challenges that lie ahead. What do you think? Is the team headed in the right direction? Let us know in the comments. But first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel.